inside Halton Arena. Conference USA season is underway, and we got a big one tonight here in Charlotte as the Charlotte 49ers play host to the Marshall Thundering Herd. Good Thursday evening, everybody. Bobby Rosensky alongside Joby Thomas here inside Halton Arena. A first for both these teams this season. For Marshall, off to a 2-1 start. It's their first road game in conference play. For the 49ers, who are 1-2, all three of those games have been away from home. Now, Joby, Marshall is a team that can light up the scoreboard, and it starts with their leading scorer, John Elmore.
The 6'3" junior guard does it all for this Thundering Herd team. Able to score in many different ways, get to the basket, knocks down the three from the outside, and has already registered a triple-double this season. He also gets tons of help by his backcourt mate, C.J. Burks, who's also averaging over 20 points a game and has stepped up from a year ago being the sixth man to being a go-to player.
Meanwhile, for the Charlotte 49ers, a coaching change was made 5 games ago, Joby, and this man, Andrew White, has stepped up, leading the scoring in all 5 of those games.
White's offensive production has been off the charts the last 5, 22 a game, showing his strength and ability to finish around the rim, even though he's known as a three-point shooter. And on the interior, Najee Garvin, the sophomore, has stepped up and played huge minutes for the Niners, giving them a 1-2 punch.
So getting ready here for tip-off between Charlotte and Marshall. This is the 15th meeting between the two schools all time. Marshall leading the series between the two schools 8-6, with Marshall winning 4 out of the 7 here at Halton Arena, also 4 out of the 7 at Marshall. Last year, Joby, here in this building, it was Marshall picking up the victory 93-89, and that's the type of game, Dan D'Antoni wants to see his team play tonight.
Well, it's a team that can put a lot of points on the board. 93 in Halton a season ago, and always one of the leading schools in the country on the offense side of the ball. That starts with the two-headed monster they have with John Elmore and C.J. Burks, both averaging over 20 points a game.
And last year, Elmore, and a lot of changes for Marshall. 4 out of the 5 starters this year are new from last season, but Elmore, he was the one guy returning. And last year when these two teams played here at Halton Arena, Elmore scored 26 points to help Marshall pick up that victory. And Elmore actually did declare for the NBA draft, but went through the process, didn't like what he heard, decided to come back to Marshall for another year, and it has paid off big time for Coach D'Antoni here as Marshall's gotten off to this 11-5 start, 2-1 in conference play. The 49ers 5-9, 1-2 in conference. Joby mentioned there in the open, there was the coaching change. Houston Fancher taking over for the Charlotte 49ers. You've been around this team. What have you seen from Coach Fancher since he's taken over these last 5?
Well, more than anything, I've seen a lot more motivation. These guys love playing for Houston Fancher, and though the record, only 2-3 since he took over, wouldn't necessarily suggest a huge transformation, just the attitude and the will to play has been drastically different since Coach Fancher.
One player that was originally in the projected starting lineup for Marshall, not right now, and that's Aydin Penova, the junior from Sarajevo, Bosnia. Got banged up in the last game, only played 4 minutes. He's not in the starting lineup. He is dressed on the bench. He's the nation's leading shot blocker, so we'll see if he gets any minutes tonight. Marshall, though, wins the opening tip, and we're underway here at Halton Arena.
Niners starting off in that man-to-man D, and first possession, no surprise. We see a 3 hoisted by the Thundering Herd.
Williams missing that 3. We'll see a lot of them tonight from Marshall. They made 18 last time out in a loss against Western Kentucky. Andrew White gets it down low to Garvin. Garvin trying to post up Williams. They'll go with the right hook, and he won't get the roll, and the rebound going to West, and here comes Marshall.
Good look offensively for Charlotte by Garvin. They want to work the ball inside.
And there's a missed shot down low by Miovic. John Davis will push it. Now a 3 from White. That's no good. Haslam tried to collect the board, knocked it out, and it's Marshall basketball.
Another good look offensively for Charlotte. Both these teams we know like to run, and Charlotte, their strategy is going to be against Marshall. You know it's hard to compete with their pace, but if you get an early shot in the offense, you want to take it. Otherwise, be patient, methodical, make the defense work.
C.J. Burks has the basketball. He's been on fire of late. His first shot is good. And we have our first points here at Halton Arena.
A very rare mid-range jump shot as John Davis goes coast to coast all the way to the rack. But Marshall, not a team that likes to shoot a lot of mid-range shots.
Here's West. Now to Williams. 3 straight on. Nothing but net. And Marshall with a 5-2 lead.
There you see the way Marshall can spread you out. So tough to defend. You've got a 5-man stepping out, shooting a 3.
Turnover by John Davis. And for John Davis, a guy that, you know, Houston Fancher wants to get going. Been one of the best players, Joby, in Conference USA, definitely last year, but so far this year, not quite the same results for John Davis.
Yeah, John Davis, a guy coming into the season with extremely high expectations for himself, and from those on the outside, one of 20 players, collegiate players invited to some big camps, Nike camp this summer out in California, performed extremely well, but for whatever reason, John mentally has struggled and his game has followed suit.
Williams looking for his second 3. That one's too long. Rebound by Ajukwa. And the dribble there too high. And back-to-back turnovers by the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, you know it's tough against Marshall to make the most of every possession. They're going to try to speed this game up, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot with unforced turnovers.
Elmore going to drive inside, tries to throw it, and it's deflected out of bounds by Ajukwu. Look at our first substitution. Milo Supaka checks into the game. Jalen Haslam will take a seat. Supaka with one of the big shots of the season for the 49ers, making a bucket against North Texas with 0.2 seconds to go to lift them to a win on their early road trip. There's another miss. Here come the 49ers. Ajukwu down low, and that shot rejected away by Marshall. Here's White. Long 2, doesn't get it to go. And Marshall picks it up. Elmore, 3, good.
Well, there is one young man you do not want to leave alone in transition. Have to find him. John Elmore. What a score.
Elmore averaging 23.2 points a game coming into this contest. That's his first bucket and another turnover. More turnovers than points for the 49ers early on. Elmore, 3. No good. Supaka the rebound, and here comes John Davis. Davis drives inside, dumps it off. Garvin.
Nice penetration there by John Davis, and that's what you have to do. Marshall really doesn't want to play defense. All they want to do is try to get the ball back as quickly as possible, but too easy now on the other end for the Niners.
Mijovic with the 2. They tried that play earlier. He couldn't connect, but he does that time. Shot too strong by Supaka, and here come the Thundering Herd. Supaka's down on the ground. He's not been able to get back. 3-ball Williams. That's in and out. Loose underneath. Picked up by Marshall, and now we have a timeout with the injured Charlotte 49er player.
Supaka looks like he took a knee to the thigh. Walks off the court gingerly. The freshman's been playing really good basketball as of late, and that's tough if you're a Niner fan to see him go to the sideline.
Supaka averaging 6.9 points a game, 4.2 rebounds.
We'll see on the miss.
And the inbounds pass by Marshall heads into the first row behind the 49er bench. So some sloppy play by both sides here in the first 4 minutes of this game. Thundering Herd do have the 10-4 lead. Davis gonna go down low. Haslam back in the game. His shot blocked out of bounds by Williams. So they might not have the leading shot blocker in the nation, but Marshall still with 2 early block shots, a couple threes by the Thundering Herd, and they're off and running here in Charlotte. 10-4, Marshall on top.
In the community, we are uplifting. In athletics, we are strong. And on our campuses, we are accepting. Dynamic, diverse, determined. This is who we want to be, on and off the field. In our everyday lives, we are all day CUSA. And together, we are Conference USA.
At UNC Charlotte, we know a thing or two about opportunity. We build a foundation, inspired progress. Now, opportunity knocks. Who is it? The future. It's here. But it doesn't end here. It leads you here, here, and here, and pulls you right back here. Feel it? That's opportunity.
We are really blessed with the support that we have as student athletes. Day in, day out, whether it's academics or the weight room or the track or the tennis court, just giving it your all every single day. Competing at the highest level, working hard every single day, and doing whatever you can to make yourself better and prepare yourself for life in the future. My name is Joshua Cook. Thanks to Charlotte and Conference USA, I am and always will be all day CUSA.
I am ready to do all that I can.
15:53 to go here in the opening. Marshall on top early on at 10-4. The Thundering Herd in the first 4 minutes and 7 seconds of this game, shooting 40%. You can't do that if you're going to keep up with Marshall. John Davis with the basketball for the 49ers. Garvin wants it down low. Davis will take it inside himself. Draws the foul and the bucket. John Davis with a chance for a three-point play. So Davis will head to the free throw line for the 49ers. A guy we talked about here early on in this broadcast. 27th player in school history to go over 1,000 points. Been a struggle this year, but he's got 5 early on, and it's 10-7.
Yeah, JD's a player the Niners need if they want to have success. They need his production. So productive his first 2 seasons. Nice to see him get a bucket. Hopefully that gets him going.
Runner by Burks, no good. Haslam the rebound. Now here's John Davis. Foot was on the line. Knocks it down. A long 2 for Davis. And the 49ers within 1.
And sometimes that's all it takes. You get a basket. JD with the and 1. As Marshall turns the ball over. Comes right back down. Scores another basket.
Elmore was looking on the bounce pass there for Rondell Watson. Watson made his debut just 5 games ago against Xavier. He's a transfer from Wake Forest. He was there. The pass just a little early from Elmore. Here's Davis. We'll see if he keeps going. He'll fire. Davis. 3. Good.
Oh, my. John Davis. For Niner fans, they're saying, where has this been? And hope to see it continue.
There's a 3 ball in the corner. That's too strong. And a rebound by White. 49ers. And we're going to get another turnover here. Andrian White. 4th turnover by the 49ers. And a substitution. Austin Ojukwu will check in. Najee Garvin will take a seat. 49ers on an 8-0 run right now.
In large part to John Davis. And after that turnover, you'd have loved to see Andrew White find John Davis again and just hit a few in a row.
Here's Burks. Burks going against White. Go the runner with the right hand. Can't get it to fall. Marshall not connecting down low. Here's John Davis. Goes inside. Tries to draw. The foul wasn't there. Haslam then misses a wide open dunk. Deflected out of bounds by Marshall.
Well, Haslam going for the jugular there. All he had to do all alone was put the ball back in on a tip. Instead, tries to hammer it. Love the aggressiveness. Can't fault Jalen Haslam, but an easy deuce is missed.
Already 4 early rebounds for Haslam, coming off his best game of the season, 9.7 rebounds in the loss at Rice. There's Charlotte again. Andrian White turning the ball over, then he commits the foul. So it'll be Marshall basketball. And the 49ers continuing the substitutions. Ryan Murphy checking in. Jalen McGill will take a seat.
And you see that most of these turnovers for the 49ers have been unforced. Marshall not known for their defensive stature. Charlotte making it easy on them.
Elmore goes inside, and he stops a drought that had been over 2.5 minutes for the Thundering Herd. And we're even up here at 12. Ojukwu going to go inside to Haslam. Nice entry pass, and Haslam connects for his first bucket.
Smart play there. They're fronting Haslam in the low post. Lob it right up over the defense, and an easy basket for Jalen Haslam.
Rod West goes inside, kicks it off to Burks, and a beautiful runner from C.J. Burks, the junior for Martinsburg, West Virginia, has been averaging 21.5 points the last 11 games. He's got 4 here tonight.
And he's not bashful. C.J. Burks will get his shot attempts up. Tough runner by a talented offensive player.
Haslam turnaround in the lane. That's short. Rebound picked up by Williams.
But without Penova, Marshall, not much of an interior presence, Bobby, and smart by the Niners to try to go into the interior, exploit the mismatch they have with Jalen Haslam.
Foul called on Jalen McGill. And you mentioned without Penova against Western Kentucky. He was hurt early in that game, about 4 minutes played. Western Kentucky out-rebounded Marshall 53-26. Points in the paint were 70-26. It was 20-2 in second chance points. So when you take out the leading shot blocker in the nation, you know it's going to have an impact, and it did for Marshall against Western Kentucky. Elmore drives inside, doesn't get that to go, and Elmore was out of bounds. The ball landed on him, and that'll be a turnover to Charlotte.
Elmore goes to the free throw line 10 times a game looking for the foul call there. Little contact, but really got himself up too far underneath the basket and misses it, turning the ball over.
John Davis brings it up. He's got the early 10 points. And that one deflected out of bounds by Elmore. We'll stay here with Charlotte. Ryan Murphy, a redshirt freshman from California, to inbound it.
Murphy known as a shooter.
There's another turnover by the 49ers. Haslam's pass was deflected. Burks, 3. And he gets the shooter's roll. C.J. Burks.
Well, you know C.J. Burks, again, is going to get his reps, number of shot attempts, but you don't want to see him get hot early.
Murphy, 3. That's no good. Haslam another board. Haslam kicks it out. McGill, open 3. That's off. And a foul going to be called underneath. It looks like on Marshall, Miovic. And Haslam right now trying to take advantage without Penova in the game.
Little extracurricular activity there. The officials right on top of it, doing a good job. Both guys playing hard. Miovic held Haslam a little longer than he would have liked. But we play on.
Haslam, a transfer from Gordon State College, has started every game this year but one. That was a Charlotte loss against Davidson. Ryan Murphy setting up the offense, looks for a pick from Haslam, won't take it, goes inside, throws it back out. McGill down low. Haslam, and probably not the shot you want there, as Haslam just threw it up over his head.
Yeah, he tried to rush it, had good position. Got to gather yourself, go up strong. Haslam a little off balance when he threw that shot attempt up.
There's a shot and one. Rondell Watson. And when we come to the line, he'll be heading to 16-14 with 11:34 to go in the first half.
I am ready to do all that I can. I can reach new heights, go farther than I have. I am a son, I am a daughter of Marshall. I am driven to succeed, skilled and destined to lead. I'm part of a community, even more than that, a family. I am motivated to make it, to show the world all I can be. I am a son, I am a daughter of Marshall.
We are really
Basketball tonight here at Halton Arena, but some Charlotte 49er football players that helped start the Charlotte 49er football family 5 seasons ago. In attendance tonight, you saw Larry Ogunjobi on the right, Austin Duke in the middle, and Brandon Banks on the left. Larry Ogunjobi, the first ever draft pick in Charlotte 49er football history, was the first pick of the 3rd round by the Cleveland Browns, and by all indications played well this year despite the Browns' struggles. Larry Ogunjobi was a good interior defensive lineman for Cleveland. Brandon Banks suited up for the Redskins this season. Austin Duke off and on with the Carolina Panthers practice squad as a wide receiver, and actually just earlier this week signing a future contract for the practice squad for the Carolina Panthers. The and one was good as Marshall back up 6. Ajukwa jump shot, that's good. And that snaps a streak of over 2 minutes and 10 seconds scoreless for the 49ers.
That's a smart decision by Austin Ajukwa. Nice mid-range pull-up jumper there from the free throw line extended. And we've talked about John Davis and the importance of his play for the Niners, but Austin Ajukwa, another player who struggled, Bobby, that could really help this team by having a good game.
Watson airs it, but he's got a teammate underneath for the rebound and puts it back in. Phil Bledsoe averaging just 2.8 points a game, and now they force a turnover by the Charlotte 49ers, and that has really been the story the first 9 minutes of this game.
Yeah, 7 turnovers already for Charlotte the first 9 minutes of this basketball game, and down just 6 points, but you have to protect the basketball, and most of these turnovers have been unforced, just a needless turnover in the backcourt there.
Elmore looking for Burks, couldn't get it to him underneath. Now Elmore has it back out. Deep 3 by Elmore, good. And you're seeing why he's the leading scorer on the Thundering Herd with that range. And Marshall here with 25 points before the midway point of this first half.
You have to stay up in Elmore because he will pull the trigger at any moment, but he's so good off the bounce as well. So a difficult task for the Charlotte defense.
Double team on Garvin. They get the steal and then a foul on Garvin. Elmore got the strip and another turnover by the 49ers.
I guess Charlotte just doesn't want to shoot the basketball. There we see a great dig down and help on the low post by Elmore, coming up with another steal and turnover.
And the alley-oop. Rondell Watson, and Houston Fancher doesn't like what he's seeing as the Thundering Herd on a run right now, as they have the first double-digit lead of this game, 27-16. After the 8th turnover by the Charlotte 49ers. They get the dunk by Watson. And if you're Coach Fancher, Joby, what's the message right now on that Charlotte 49er huddle?
Well, we've got to take care of the basketball first. We're giving the ball game away by so many senseless turnovers, but then on the other end, when you do make a mistake, forget about it. You've got to play defense. A missed assignment on a backdoor cut and a dunk, and this Thundering Herd offense, which is so potent and capable of putting up big numbers, they are scoring in bunches the last few minutes.
15-2 run here over the last 3:15. Elmore, he's got 8. Burks with 7. The 2 leading scorers pacing the way for Marshall so far, and a chance for another turnover. And we're going to get the foul on Andrian White. And he was close to probably getting teed up. Actually, no, I think we'll get the call on Marshall. White wasn't happy. He was acting like it was on him, and I thought it was on him, to be honest with you.
I was just about to say, Andrian White better be careful. It looked like he was going to throw the ball in the stands. And I guess you need to understand who.
When a call actually went your way.
That's right. Understand who the call is against before you react.
John Davis thought about the three. Now he'll take one. That one was short. He gets his own rebound, goes inside, tries to draw the foul, doesn't get it, misses a shot. And here come the Thundering Herd with C.J. Burks. Burks has it stripped away by White. Thought about feeding it to Davis. Now he'll take it in and lay it in. Marshall going to push it quickly other way. Watson got the open three. Now he fires. That's no good. Rebound Ajukwa. Goes deep for Garvin. A perfect pass.
Perfect pass, and what a catch by Najee Garvin. Catch and a sweet finish. Charlotte with a much-needed transition basket here to stop the bleeding.
Lead down to 7. Elmore, deep range. That one no good. Rebound Garvin. Supaka, who left early with an injury, is back on the floor. Ajukwa three-pointer. That's no good. There's Supaka, though, with the offensive board. He'll post up right-hander. No good. And that was saved. Almost went out of bounds. Nice play, Phil Bledsoe. Saves it to Watson, and here comes Marshall.
Supaka made a very nice move underneath. Just lost the ball as he went up, unable to finish.
Ajukwa knocks it out of the hands of Bledsoe.
And nobody wants the basketball. The turnovers abounding here in the first half.
John Davis drawing the foul, I believe, on the floor. Fourth foul on Marshall. Charlotte with 6, so the next foul against the 49ers. You will see Marshall in the bonus. Garvin almost had it taken away by Elmore. Now he goes inside, throws up a runner. That's no good. Knocked out of bounds, and it went off the hands of West. And it stays with the 49ers.
They got to do for you to call a foul. There's a foul, Russ. What do they have to do? Go foul there, Russ.
John Davis gets it into Supaka. Andrian White knocked out of bounds. Man, Elmore playing some impressive defense.
Active hands in the passing lanes, and you've got to protect the basketball, but Charlotte, I think, needs to work the ball inside some. These guards on the perimeter are so aggressive for Marshall. Pick and rolls, as you can see, they're trying to force him away from the screen. The big guy has to roll, as Supaka does, and gets behind the defense.
And Supaka couldn't hold on to his balance there. It's another turnover. Here's Burks going inside. Can't get it to go, and the rebound picked up by Garvin. He'll kick it off John Davis. John Davis going to drive inside. And the 12th point of the night for John Davis and the 49ers. Alley-oop the other way. Williams slams it home. The second alley-oop by the Thundering Herd. So a little run happening there from the Charlotte 49ers. But Marshall, with the alley-oop, extends the lead back to 7. There's the alley-oop. Elmore to Watson. One of 2 that we've seen by Marshall. We just had another one, and it was Williams catching this one, and he was fouled on the play. So Jansen Williams to the free throw line. Opportunity for a 3-point play. And he's got it. And the Herd lead back to 8.
We've seen Charlotte Bobby get beat in transition. Some had some success against Marshall, but you've got to get back defensively and stop them on the break.
Garvin draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Charlotte having success when they work the ball inside, and they've had some very good looks at the basket. Garvin, Haslam, Supaka, but unable to finish many of them, and now a chance at the free throw line for Charlotte to cut into this 8-point lead.
Garvin's first one is good, and for Najee Garvin, the sophomore from Lexington, South Carolina, averaging 8.6 points a game. And one number to show you the growth of Garvin is last year he attempted 41 free throws, made 26. That was in 29 games. This year, that was his 42nd free throw. made 27, now make that 27 out of 43, but the same exact number of free throws made and attempted going into this game in just 14 games so far this year.
Yeah, Garvin's getting some more opportunity this year and playing big minutes as Suboka comes over with a huge weak side block.
John Davis takes it inside. He's fouled. And the 49ers will head right back to the line. Miovic, I believe, 0 for 3 on the plays at the rim tonight for Marshall.
Miovic a load underneath, and I'd venture to say that his strength is not playing above the rim, but certainly has a lot of size, and Marshall has executed extremely well with the 1-5 pick and roll. But Charlotte now down just 6 points, and that's the thing about both these teams, Bobby. They can score, and they don't play a ton of defense, so you can be down 8 or 10 points and look up, and the game's close again. So a game of runs, and Charlotte making a nice run of their own.
Davis makes both, so back to a 5-point game. There's Elmore inside, and you need a bucket, not a bad guy to go to. John Elmore now with 10 points. John Davis leading all scorers with 14 on 5 of 8 shooting. They'll get a pick from Haslam. Now it's to White. White deep three. This is going to be short off the iron. It'll go out of bounds to the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, Coach Fancher doesn't love the shot attempt. Andrew White, one of the guys who has the ultra green light for this team. We mentioned his 22 points a game the last 5, but you'd like to see a better shot attempt on most possessions than what we just saw.
Watson kicks it out to Burks. Burks going against Ajukwa, now gives it over to Elmore. Elmore working on Davis, able to get inside, throws it back out to Burks. 7 to shoot. You don't usually say that with Marshall. Down low, Miovic. He loses the ball, and it's taken away by the 49ers. Garvin looking for Ajukwa. Boy, he telegraphed that one. Watson with the steal. Now Burks. Burks can't get it to go. So kind of some sloppy basketball, both sides here. Under 6 minutes to play now in the first half.
And there you see that Marshall philosophy. Looked like Burks had a layup or easy mid-range, and he backs it up and pulls a 3 in transition.
Davis got double teamed, tried to force a pass to Haslam. It was deflected. And the turnovers continue to mount for Charlotte.
And too much dribble in that possession. John Davis have to move the basketball.
Elmore's 3 went in and out. A rebound by White, 2-on-2 the other way. White goes right down the middle of the defense and lays it in. Miovic looking for help, hand it off to West. West swings it over. Watson open 3 from the corner. That was too strong. A rebound by White. 2-on-4. White throws it inside to Haslam, and we'll get the block call. Dan D'Antoni can't believe it. Got his arms spread out. Questioning the officiating call right there. James Breeding, Michael Stevens, Mike Roberts, our officials tonight. As you get a look there at the Mack truck, Jalen Haslam bowling over the Marshall defender.
Yeah, Rondell Watson certainly taking the bulk of that blow there, and that was a difficult call. And he throws his arms up to say, hey, ref, I was just standing here minding my own business until I got plowed over by Jalen Haslam.
D'Antoni still having the words with the officials. The fans, they're chanting here. They want to see him teed up. At first they did not have it set up as a free throw. So they reset that. Haslam will head to the line. D'Antoni, as you see, still talking. He's chatted, I think, with every official during this break. Free throw no good by Haslam. So no harm for Marshall.
Yeah, much ado for nothing there as Haslam misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
And now we're going to travel on a C.J. Burks.
Both teams
Might be
with
setting a
some
record for
sloppy play.
turnovers.
Exactly. It has been brutal to watch at times.
Here's John Davis. But a night I'm sure all Charlotte 49er fans have been waiting to see for a while. 20-point games or more in his career. He's just a junior, but just one so far this season. 14 tonight. Make that 17.
Right on cue, John Davis stepping up when the Niners need him most.
Elmore able to get Davis to fall down. Marshall couldn't get the shot they wanted underneath. Watson thought about the three, drives inside, and he can't get the roll. And that's been a big story tonight for Marshall. They've had some good looks down low, but just not dropping. Davis goes back inside, and he's going to draw the foul. Elmore can't believe it. And when we come back, John Davis, an opportunity with 2 free throws to tie this game at 32. John Davis drawing that foul as we headed to timeout. We've highlighted the struggles of John Davis so far this season. Struggles for a guy that has the accolades that he does throughout the year. And his season high so far, Joby, was 24 points against Presbyterian. That was game 4. He's got 17 tonight. That's already the second most points he's scored in a game this year.
Well, he looks like a man on the mission. He's attacking the basket. He's knocking down threes from distance. And he's put this Charlotte 49ers team on his back, clawing them all the way back to within a 2-point deficit with a chance to tie the basketball game from the free throw line.
First one is good. Marshall right now at a drought of 309. And it's weird, Joby, as we sit here at a game that will probably be in the 40s at the end of the first half. Yet both teams have gone through droughts that have been 2 to 3 minutes at times.
Long droughts and lots of turnovers. It's amazing. Both high-scoring offenses and a lot of fun to watch. You take the turnovers away and really exciting basketball.
Here's a 3 in the corner, and again, they don't get the roll from West, but Marshall able to get the rebound. Elmore going to drive inside, kicks it out, 3 ball from his brother. Elmore can't get it to go. His older brother, the senior, they've connected once this year on an assist from John to older brother. Almost number 2 there.
Well, I would love to have that one back because he was wide open and good offense there. And we have seen Marshall, for all the threes they've executed, they have missed a bunch of wide open attempts in the first half.
1-and-1. Haslam, who missed it earlier, drains that one. 3 points now for Haslam, who has 9 rebounds here in this first half.
And if you're Marshall, you've got to be encouraged. You're 4 for 15 from behind the arc in the first half and only down 2 points on the road.
Charlotte up by 2. I believe their first lead. We'll get a foul called here. Ryan Murphy.
Going to put Burks on the line, and the last thing you want to do, 25 feet from the basket for a score, foul him and give an opportunity to go to the free throw line.
Burks was the 6th man last year for Marshall. Again, 4 starters gone from a season ago, so he's one guy that has stepped into the starting lineup, and the junior has done a great job, averaging 20.1 points per game. He's upticked that the last 11 with 21.5. Had a career-high 31 against the Bobcats of Ohio back on December 16th. Burks makes both. And with under 3.5 to play here in the first half, tie game at 34. John Davis to Ajukwa. Ajukwa trying to get by Burks. Gets a runner in the lane. Not enough on it. Rebound by Burks. He comes out the other way. Got numbers if they push it. Elmore to his brother. Burks back to John. John going to try to drive inside, and it was knocked off his knee, I believe, by Ajukwa. And a turnover by Marshall.
A good recovery there by Austin Ajukwa to put some pressure on Elmore. Elmore unable to control the basketball, and we've gone, what, a minute or two without a turnover, so it was about time.
I think since the last TV timeout, we had not had a turnover, so there's our first one. Big final 3 minutes here. Chance for either team to try to grab some momentum. Going into the locker room, John Davis being double teamed, looking for help. He's down to 4 to shoot. He's got to pull up from the logo, and he's going to air that one out of bounds.
Good defensive possession there by Marshall, but Charlotte with an opportunity has him on the low block. You got to give the big fella the ball, and calls him out for a pick and roll. And JD having to force a difficult shot.
Turnovers are 12 for Charlotte, 7 for Marshall. Burks from the free throw line, tough shot. CJ Burks, give him now 11 in the game.
Little Kevin Durant special there. Step back off 1 foot. Do it, CJ.
CJ leading Marshall with 11. John Elmore, he's got 10. Haslam picked up the dribble pretty early, then was looking for help. Gets it to Davis. Davis drives inside, runner off the glass, can't get it to go. Rebound, John Elmore.
How about the shove the back there on the board?
There's West, kind of drive inside, kicks it out. Bledsoe 3-ball, that's short, but the rebound by Ott Elmore. Now he'll go alley-oop type pass, can't get the shot to fall, CJ Burks. But he'll head to the line for 2.
We talked about the threes coming in. We know Marshall was not going to be bashful. Already 17 attempts here in the first half, making just 4. And Burks with an opportunity, Bobby, to push this lead out even further. For Charlotte, you have to be somewhat concerned and look to the turnovers if you want to find out what's the problem and why the basketball game is the score it is when Marshall's unable to connect on so many long-range attempts.
Burks makes them both, the lead back to 4, and we've talked about the scoring droughts. Well, Charlotte in the midst of another one right now. At over 2 minutes and 10 seconds, John Davis going to drive inside and got it to go. Davis now with 21.
Strong finish there. With contact, John Davis keeping him alive, and John Elmore uncharacteristically just dribbles the ball right off his foot. Another unforced turnover. Marshall picking up where Charlotte started off early in this ball game.
I'm sure both coaches ready to get in the locker room and talk with their teams. Now John Davis, who has the ball, he'd probably just like to keep playing.
Yeah, everybody wants to switch basketballs at halftime. JD, he's the only one enjoying it.
Davis goes to Garvin, and Charlotte will catch a break here. Won't be a turnover. It was deflected out of bounds by Marshall, but a dangerous pass inside by Garvin. Houston Fancher, as you see, the interim head coach here for the Charlotte 49ers. Been a head coach 12 years in college basketball, App State and at North Greenville.
Fancher with tons of success at App, a place that historically has been difficult to win. He's showing he has the ability.
Oh, Charlotte jealous of the last Marshall turnover, so they throw one away. 39 seconds left here in the first half.
We're playing hot potato. Get it out of my hands. Nobody wants the basketball.
Coach D'Antoni telling his team 1 shot. Now Charlotte will still have an opportunity going the other way, but he does not want to give the 49ers an opportunity really to set up their offense.
Charlotte with no fouls to give, have to play straight up defense.
Here's Elmore. He's got 10 here in the first half. Runs the pick and roll with Bledsoe. Can't get it to go, but we'll get the foul called. Nice pick and roll with Phil Bledsoe and John Elmore. And Bledsoe heads to the line.
So hard to defend this Marshall Thundering Herd team. You see they clear out one whole side and run a ball screen with Elmore. The weak side help. You're so tempted to hug your man because everyone on the floor can shoot the basketball. Charlotte will have to make that halftime adjustment. They have struggled against the pick and roll here in the first half.
4 points for Bledsoe, comes in averaging just 2.8 on the season. So 49ers will get the final shot unless it's a three-pointer and a foul. Marshall will have the lead at the half. Here's John Davis. And we do have a foul. The shot doesn't fall. D'Antoni looking over at CJ.
Saying, why did you do that?
It didn't seem like a great shot that was being taken by Davis. So Davis, if he makes all three, would tie his high for the year, which was the 24 points against Presbyterian back in the fourth game of the season.
And I don't have the stats currently to prove it, but it seems like today's three-point shooting game of basketball, collegiate, professional, both, we see a lot more fouling of the three-point shooter. Not a smart play there by Burks.
He's bailed out on the first one, a miss by Davis. Second one is good. John Davis last year shot 48.2%. This year shooting just 32.6 coming in. And we've seen a very impressive first half from John Davis. He makes 2 out of 3, 1.9 to go. They get it to John Elmore, spins around, throws one up in time. Oh! And that would have been a fitting way to end the first half, off the backboard and out off the rim. A thrilling first half from Halton Arena. Marshall right now on top of the Charlotte 49ers, 40-38.
Both teams playing big here tonight offensively. Elmore, JD.
Halftime here at Halton Arena. Marshall right now on top of the Charlotte 49ers, 40-38. Bobby Rosensky alongside it, Joby Thomas. And Joby, a thrilling first half that we saw. And we'll start for the Charlotte 49ers, who were down double digits at one point. But John Davis, who has struggled for a lot of this season, erupting for 23 points in the first half.
Yeah, we talked about John Davis and the need for him to step up for Charlotte, as we see Andrew White drive down the lane, but JD has been attacking the rim, look like a man on a mission. Also knocking down 2 Charlotte three-pointers in the first half, just 2 of 9 as a team, and John Davis doing it for the Niners.
For Marshall, you've seen Phil Bledsoe score in this game, but also John Elmore, 10 points for the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, Elmore coming in, averaging 23 points a game, just 10 the first half, but he and Burks with strong guard play, keeping this Marshall Thundering Herd team not just in it, but up 2 at half in spite of their struggles from behind the arc.
Yeah, we've seen Marshall miss some opportunities. You feel like they would normally make some open three-pointers that have not gone in for Marshall. Again, for Charlotte, it's all been about John Davis. Now the turnovers, 12 turnovers for the Charlotte 49ers, 8 for Marshall in the first half. What do you say as a coach to try to stop that?
Guys, just hold on to the basketball. Make the simple play. Don't try to do too much. Many of them were unforced. You're trying to make a play for your team. Move the basketball. A little too much dribbling, not enough passing, and we've seen some sloppy play in the first half.
And we'll see if the Charlotte 49ers, you got John Davis with 23 points, but can Andrew White, can Austin Ojukwu, can somebody else step up and help the scoring load in the second half?
Yeah, unfortunately for Charlotte, most of the season you've had 1 or 2 guys play well. Haven't really had those 3 guys play well together. JD, 23 big first half, but Andrew White and Austin Ojukwu needing to step up and help.
More coming up here at halftime at home.
Hearts of Gold. The Charlotte 49ers have established a rich culture of giving back to the community, donating over 3,000 hours per year to a wide variety of local organizations and charities. That translates to approximately 125 full 24-hour days of volunteer work that benefit Charlotte and the surrounding region. The 49ers have several projects that are near and dear to their hearts, including the Dig Pink campaign, the Stroll for Epilepsy, and the YMCA Miracle League. Additional projects, especially those that impact the lives of children, also spark the 49ers. The time the 49ers get to spend with kids at the Levine Children's Hospital, reading to children at local schools, or hosting youth clinics in their respective sports are among the most rewarding for the athletes and participants alike. In all, the 49ers touch over 70 organizations and countless lives per year through the life skills programs, making a strong impact in the community that supports it so well.
That's the basketball people have had trouble holding on to tonight with 20 turnovers in that first half. Bobby Rosinski, Joby Thomas back here at Halton Arena as we continue here at halftime. Marshall on a top 40-38. And Joby, you see John Davis, we talked about there earlier in halftime. Somebody else probably going to have to step up in the scoring department in the second half.
Yeah, John Davis is certainly carrying the load single-handedly, but the Niners need some of those other players to step up. Marshall, a little more balanced attack. We expected Burks and Elmore, both averaging over 20 points a game, to be their leading scorers, and that held true in the first half.
You see Burks with that 13, Elmore with 10. Marshall did lead by 11 at one point in the first half. That was about with 10.5 minutes to go in the opening half. Marshall got off really hot in this game at 25 points before we got to the midway point of the opening half, thanks in part there to John Elmore. John was 4 of 8 shooting. C.J. Burks was 4 of 9 as a team. Marshall 14 of 36. Second half coming up next. Second half about ready to go. Dan D'Antoni's team this year 9-1 when they lead at halftime. Meanwhile, for the Charlotte 49ers and Houston Fancher, 2-7 when they trail after 20 minutes. Now just a 2-point game at the half, so those numbers maybe you can throw out the window. We'll let you know after the game whether you can throw that out the window or not. Marshall trying to improve to 3-1 in conference play. This is their first road conference game of the season. 2-1 so far with their home games. The 49ers haven't been home since December 5th. That was a loss to Wake Forest. Had a couple more non-conference road games. Then starting with 3 straight road games in conference play. Houston Fancher's been the interim coach for the past 5, 2-3 in that stretch. This weekend, Charlotte will welcome Western Kentucky to Halton Arena, 7 p.m. tip. Meanwhile, Marshall, they'll be on the road taking on Old Dominion, a game you can catch on ESPN3.
Well, if that first half was any indication, it should be an entertaining second half.
4 lead changes in that first half. 5 times the game was tied. Had a chance for a lead change there. I set it up, but the shot did not fall by Andrian White.
Another good look by the Niners from behind the arc. Just 2 for 10 now for the basketball game.
Pass there almost picked off. Williams, open 3. That's in and out. A rebound by White. And travel by Andrian White. So unfortunately for the 49ers, they pick up where they left off. Now turnover number 13. And I don't have the number in front of me, but Andrian White seems like might be leading in that category for the 49ers.
All Coach Fancher can do is scratch his head. Unforced turnover.
Burks deep 3. Got it. 16 now for Burks.
And just 5 for 19 as a team. So we talked about the Niners struggling from behind the arc. Marshall with tons of open looks, Bobby, in the first half. If they start making those, this game could change in a hurry.
Almost another turnover. Tried to get it down low to Haslam was John Davis. John Elmore was able to deflect it out. Haslam and Mijovic getting a talking to right now between the officials. Got heated earlier in the first half.
That's a lot of weight being tossed around, those two.
That's one right. Stay on the outside. Ojukwu, wide open jumper. Can't get it to go. And the rebound picked up by Marshall. Elmore, 3. That's good. So the Thundering Herd, a couple early threes in the lead, quickly up to 8.
And just a miscommunication defensively by Charlotte. You have to know where Elmore is, and you certainly can't leave him when he has the basketball.
Garvin down low, and he gets it up and in. Najee Garvin, 7 points on the night. Burks, 3, good!
Uh-oh. That's 3 in a row by the Thundering Herd. Burks, Elmore, and Burks heating up.
So just 2 minutes into the second half, the lead has been expanded by 7. Up to 9. John Davis in the lane, draws the foul, got it to go. And now a new season high for John Davis.
John Davis being aggressive. There you see West trying to reach in at the last second, get a steal. Instead, he hits the arm, JD, with a strong finish and a chance that he allows to go by the wayside for a three-point play.
So the lead back to 7. Here's Elmore. Going to run inside, runner off the glass, can't get it to go. Milovic had an opportunity underneath. He couldn't finish. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it stays with Marshall.
Charlotte going down 7 points, and we talked about in the first half the style of play for Marshall. They can go up big in a hurry, but they can also allow you back into the basketball game. You're never really out of it.
West driving it inside, dumps it off. We get a foul. Bucket won't fall for Williams, but then head to the line to shoot 2.
Williams played some solid minutes in the first half, 6 points of his own. Made an open three, missed a couple other open ones as he comes up short on that first free throw attempt.
A redshirt freshman from Georgia played a season-high minutes against Western Kentucky with 35. And in the starting lineup tonight, as Aidin Penava, the nation's leading shot blocker, out with an injury. He was hurt just 4 minutes into the game against Western Kentucky. He's here on the trip, warmed up, is dressed, but not playing so far tonight. John Davis going inside, throws up a shot, can't get it to go. Ball was tipped out. Elmore out to Burks, perfect pass, and the dunk.
When the guard drives in, somebody has to rotate back, and no one gets back for Charlotte. They give up an easy deuce.
Houston Fancher taking an early timeout here in the second half as Marshall has started the second half with a 12-4 run, and the lead is 10. First half, Marshall was 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. They're 3 of 4 to start the second half. C.J. Burks helping lead the way with 2 threes. That dunk on the great assist from Elmore. And that led to the early timeout by Houston Fancher. The lead 10. John Davis drives inside, dumps it off. Garvin up and in.
Nice drop-off pass there by John Davis. Najee Garvin in the right place at the right time. Good finish. But if you're Charlotte, got to get some stops on this end.
They try another alley-oop. You're going to get a foul called here on Andrian White, who saw it coming to Williams, so he kind of just backed up as Williams was getting ready to go up for it. Impeding the progress there. Quick inbounds to Burks. Drives inside, right hand, off the glass and in. C.J. Burks taking this game over in the second half.
And what a sweet finish by C.J. Burks as Charlotte comes down and turns the ball over yet again.
Here's West going against White. West bounce pass, guess who? Burks!
And the Niners, no answer for Burks. And you see there again, Marshall, so good. They dribble at you and cut back door. Charlotte unable defensively to figure out these backdoor plays. Marshall, very
Davis
effective.
Draws the foul on the floor. Davis with 25. Burks now has 25, and Marshall has the largest lead of the game. They're up 12 on the 49ers. 15:58 to play here in this second half. Halton Arena, Charlotte, North Carolina. Marshall, as you see, on top by 12. It was a 2-point game at halftime. But C.J. Burks has gone off. 12 points for Burks in the second half, out of the 16 for Marshall.
And 12 points in 4 minutes, Bobby. Burks has exploded, and Charlotte better find an answer for him very quickly if they want to stay in this ball game.
John Davis swings it across to Ajukwa. Ajukwa drives inside. His shot doesn't go. Haslam fighting for the board. He's got it up and in. Jalen Haslam, already a season high in rebounds for him. And now we're going to get a travel on Phil Bledsoe. the pressure. Houston Fancher going with that during the timeout. And to do that, you got to make buckets, which Charlotte did, allow them to set up the defense.
That's right. You got to get stops, and you have to be careful because Marshall so athletic and so good with their guards. If they break the press, they can score easily.
Davis, deep three, was well short. Barely grazing the front of the rim, and now it's Marshall basketball. John Elmore, who is Marshall's leading scorer, but we've seen Burks carry the load thanks to what he's done here early in the second half. Here's Williams having a good night. 3 ball. That's no good. And 2 49ers were there for the board. And Ajukwa and Haslam. And the ball goes out. And that just needs to be better communication, Joby?
That's it. Just communication. Have to call the rebound and a little more court awareness. Unfortunate mistake there. Cost the Niners. Crowd wanting a double dribble there as Elmore tried to hand it off to Burks.
15 to shoot for Marshall. Elmore gets a pick from Williams. Runner in the lane, doesn't get it to go. Rebound Garvin. Now John Davis going to push it inside. He's been doing it all night. Man, that was easy for John Davis, coast to coast. 27 for Davis.
Davis really the only consistent player for the Niners. Garvin has chipped in as well, but have to get some offensive production from some of his teammates as we see another unforced turnover by the Marshall Thundering Herd.
And from my view, I thought it actually went off a Charlotte player, but Charlotte quickly takes it the other way. Murphy, 3, that's good! Ryan Murphy. And the 49ers have cut it to 5. And another turnover. Watson had it taken away. Garvin drives in, tries to dunk it. Didn't get it to go, but he draws the foul.
Najee Garvin trying to go coast to coast. Finished with authority. Came up a little short, but a little contact.
It's a good thing he got the contact.
That's right.
Or his teammates might be giving him a pretty hard time.
I'd like to see that one again.
I was a little surprised as we see it here that he went for the dunk.
Yeah, a little push there, just enough. When you're off balance and going up trying to gather your momentum, good call by the official.
Garvin gets the roll, and all of a sudden a 12-point lead is down to 3. 9-0 run here in the last minute and a half. Here's John Elmore.
Yeah, pressure again, Bobby, after the make. As
good guy to get the ball to.
Guess who? Mr. Burks. Doing whatever he wants to do.
Might rename the visiting locker room here after Burks after this night. John Davis tries to draw the foul. And that might have been doing a little too much there from John Davis. Here comes Marshall. Watson off the glass and in. So they cut it to 3 very quickly. It's back to 8.
Great body control there by Rondell Watson. Looked like he was going to commit the charge. Jump stop and a sweet finish. Good answer to the Charlotte run.
Garvin, do a runner with the right hand. He got it to go. So talked about somebody else stepping up outside of John Davis. Garvin now with 13 points. Watson, though, right back the other way. The Wake Forest transfer. Well, a nice 4 points.
That was a heck of a Euro step there by Watson. Back-to-back plays offensively. Very impressive.
9 in the game for Watson. Here's Ajukwa inside left hand. He was fouled. And Austin Ajukwa will head to the line for 2. Ajukwa just 2 points. A guy last year that averaged 11.4 points per game, 11.9 in conference play, but he's been struggling, Joby, even as the last 2 games, 2 of 11 from the floor.
Yeah, here's a young man who had a 30-point game a season ago, so very capable, transferred from Clemson, sat out half the season, but just has not quite had his mojo for the first half of the 2017-2018 season. Charlotte really looking for Austin Ajukwa to step up, and sometimes all you need is to see the ball go through the basket. A couple free throws can help just that.
Watson gonna drive inside, left hand off the glass.
Oh,
Rondell Watson.
Rondell, stop it, young man. That is 3 incredible finishes around the rim. You want the right hand or do you want the left? I've given you both.
Murphy, deep 3, barely grazes the right side of the iron. And Marshall will take it over.
And if you're Charlotte, you've got to stop the penetration. 3 easy finishes there, close to the rim.
Elmore inside, we're gonna have contact. Andrian White gonna pick up the foul. That's gonna be his 4th. So John Davis, who was on the bench, will quickly come back in. As we'll see how long Coach Fancher keeps White on the bench. Now White, just 4 points tonight. A guy that's been the leading scorer in every game since Houston Fancher's taken over as the interim coach the past 5. Not on his game tonight. Here's Watson, he's been on his game. Burks to Watson. Ott Elmore to his brother John. Is knocked out of his hands, corralled it. Watson 3, that barely grazes the iron. John Davis has it for the 49ers. Davis gonna push. Davis inside, left hand, can't get it to go. And we're gonna get a foul on Bledsoe. And when we come back, the Charlotte 49ers will be headed to the free throw line. End-to-end action. John Davis helping lead the way for Charlotte with 27 points. Rondell Watson, the Wake Forest transfer, putting on a show here tonight at Halton Arena. He had 3 just incredible plays, Joby, at the basket for Marshall here, as we saw C.J. Burks be the guy early in this second half. Watson stepping up since then.
Yeah, Rondell Watson picking right up where Burks started the second half, and some sweet finishes. As good as you will see anywhere. The right hand, the left hand, and Charlotte has had no answer for the guard play of the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Milo Supica, the freshman from Serbia, misses the first free throw. And he'll miss the second. Not opportunities you can afford. And they're going to try to make this comeback here against the Thundering Herd. Ott Elmore going to drive baseline, dumps it off Watson. And if there's somebody I need making a basket down low, Rondell Watson's going to be my pick.
He is finishing everything around the rim, and a little contact there, no whistle, but sweet finish by Watson.
Supica down low, his shot too strong. And the rebound picked up by John Elmore. Elmore over to Burks. Watson wants it. I'd give it to him. Now he dishes it off. They swing it over. Ott Elmore corner 3. No good. Rebound Garvin.
Smart ball movement there by Marshall. Unable to capitalize, but beautiful basketball on the offensive end.
Supica double team, kicks it back out to Davis. Now it's over to Murphy. Ajukwa drives in, and he gets the runner to go.
Also, Ajukwa being more aggressive here in the second half. And Charlotte has to put points on the board, but they've got to be able to get stops as Watson pulls up for a 3. Not his strength.
John Davis swings it over. Ajukwa fakes the 3, driving inside. Right hand, can't get it to go. Loose underneath. And Ott Elmore has the rebound. Cleared out everyone underneath. And here comes Marshall the other way. John Elmore driving in, throws up a shot. He'll draw the foul. Milo Supica. As we see Elmore help create that contact.
Elmore's first trip to the free throw line tonight, Bobby. Coming into this ball game, averaging 10 free throw attempts per contest.
Yeah, 82.2% from the free throw line. on pace as he makes that one going into this game to make 248 free throws. That would be the most in Marshall school history. Of course, again tonight, as you heard there from Joby, not getting to the line. But when he does, he usually makes them, and he makes them both there. Lead back to 10. Dan D'Antoni taking a timeout. D'Antoni again in his 4th year at Marshall. 59 and 57, and it's a guy with an interesting track record. 30 years a high school coach in Myrtle Beach. Of course, we know his brother, Mike D'Antoni. But in the NBA, the fun Phoenix Sun teams with Steve Nash and Mari Stoudemire. So Dan joined him, was an assistant there. Knicks and Lakers as well with D'Antoni. And then Dan taking the job, coming here to Marshall, being the head coach and bringing that fun pace that everyone loves to see. And everyone questioned with Mike D'Antoni. Now when you got James Harden and Chris Paul, you don't question it as much.
That's right. The Houston Rockets looking pretty good to start the season. And I'll tell you what, both Mike and Dan, great basketball minds, especially offensively. And one thing that you cannot argue with is they are fun to watch. And, you know, I have kind of dreams of going back to my playing days and wishing I could have played for one of those two guys at some juncture. 3-pointers abound, and I tell you what, that's great basketball.
That is. I completely agree with you there. And Marshall, a team, again, they can light it up, averaging 88.1 points a game. That is the 10th highest scoring offense in Division I basketball. Charlotte coming in allowing about 75. Looks like it'll be closer to the Marshall pace with the 88 points a game. Charlotte coming in averaging just 71 of their own. So on pace to beat that, but still going to need more if they expect to get this win and improve their conference record to 2-2. Down to 10 to shoot. They go inside. Thomas's shot no good. The freshman from South Mac High School here in Charlotte. First shot of the game was short.
Thomas hasn't seen much action this season, but Coach Fancher trying to work him into the lineup. Came in as an incredible shot blocker in the high school ranks. Just needs to add a little weight, and there you see him trying to protect the rim as Marshall drives in.
And that ball was tipped in by Bledsoe. And the lead back again to what it's been the largest lead of this game. That's 12 points. John Davis draws the foul on Ott Elmore. Was on the floor. Now it is the 6th foul on Marshall, so the rest of the way, the 49ers will be shooting free throws. Charlotte just 3 made threes in this game. And you would think if a comeback's going to happen, some more is going to have to happen from distance. Davis drives in, creates the contact, the foul called, and John Davis will head to the line for 2.
And the free throws become extra important. You're able to score with the clock stopped as you see John Davis driving, drawing the contact, and Charlotte 14 for 20 thus far in the ball game with a chance to add to that total. Marshall just 12 trips to the line. Of course, they've either shot threes or finished around the rim, so not much opportunity to get to the line.
Definitely been finishing here in the second half, thanks in part to Rondell Watson. Davis makes both. Now 29 on the night for Davis, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Burks thought about the quick 3, but now they'll set up the offense with Elmore. 49ers in a zone D. Burks the long 3, that's no good, but the long rebound. John Elmore on the pass from his brother, drills it.
It's a play there by Ott Elmore, finding his brother as John Davis slashes to the basket for another easy finish, but Charlotte has to get back, and they've got to find a way to stop this high-powered offense of Marshall.
3 ball, Burks, no good. Again, a long rebound picked up Watson, and he knows what to do at the rim. And the lead now the largest it's been at 13.
And that's 5 points, back-to-back possessions total here off of offensive rebounds and putbacks. A 3 and then an easy basket there by Watson. Charlotte has to finish the defensive possession with the rebound.
Davis, he manages to finish again. And a timeout going to be taken by Charlotte. Houston Fancher seeing his offense scoring, but right now they got to find a way to box out on the long threes that aren't going in for Marshall, as the offensive rebounds have been collected by the Thundering Herd. And Marshall right now with this 11-point lead here at 76-65. We look at Burks leading the way with 28 points for Marshall. Marshall basketball here up by 11. There you saw the Elmore connection. Ott to John. And we get a whistle here. I don't think the clock had started. Joby rebounding here in the second half. Big difference from what it was in the first half.
Yeah, Charlotte with a huge advantage, 27-18 going into the half. But Marshall has evened it up at 34 apiece, a 16-7 rebounding advantage in the second half. 5 offensive rebounds, and they've been able to capitalize on many of those.
And you just talked about the 5 points that they got those last couple trips down just because of offensive boards. Nice feed inside to Watson. Gets it back out to Burks. Burks, little floater in the lane. Got it to go. 30 points now for C.J. Burks.
That is a tough shot. Charlotte switching up the deep, playing the zone, but Marshall able to get the ball to the middle of the defense. C.J. Burks finishing off with a nice runner.
Ajukwa being guarded by Burks. Throws it inside, and that's going to be a turnover. Supaka was the intended target. Pass too tall. Haven't seen as many turnovers here in the second half like we did in the first.
That's a tough post entry from that far away. Charlotte, you got to put it behind you quickly. Just 6:40 and counting, down 13.
We've seen a couple times in this game Charlotte fall behind double digits and be able to cut into the lead fairly quick. Right now, clutch time for Charlotte if they're going to get back into this one. Ott Elmore looking for help. Gets it off to his brother, who throws one up and draws the foul. Jalen McGill, the freshman from here in Charlotte Olympic High School. And now John Elmore, the chance to extend the lead.
Bobby, we talk about this Marshall offense, the way they love to shoot the three, but they move so well without the basketball. Spacing and ball movement, huge. And you see there, as soon as Ott Elmore picks his dribble up, his brother John cuts back door, he finds them. And we've seen that happen on numerous occasions tonight. Backdoor cuts. These Marshall offensive players never still, nowhere to be at all times.
1 out of 2 for John. The lead 14. Supaka against Ott Elmore, can't get it to go. And the rebound picked up by the Thundering Herd in this game, teetering on the edge for the Charlotte 49ers. Ott Elmore, long range. And he'll hear it from the fans here at Halton Arena.
My brother can do it, why can't I? That's what he says. Maybe a little out of his range, but he's played some solid minutes for the Herd in the second half.
Yeah, the senior from Charleston, West Virginia, averaging just a point and a half, but getting a lot of minutes tonight. Here's John Davis. This shot is short. Davis picks up his own rebound. Now go cross court to Andrea White. White in the game with those 4 fouls. White off the glass, can't get it to go. Haslam with the board and one. Jalen Haslam.
Strong move there by the big fella. Grabs the rebound, keeps the ball up high, and tosses it up with his left hand. And one opportunity, Jalen Haslam.
Haslam 6 points, 11 rebounds. Marshall making some substitutions, finally ready to go.
Charlotte looking like hasn't able to knock it down. Well, there goes that theory. They were going to run some full court pressure. try to force a turnover, but have to fall back into a man-to-man defense.
West, he checked in for Ott Elmore. Here's John with the ball, going inside. Right hand, can't get it to go. 49ers almost collide into each other to knock it out of bounds, but Davis able to save it. 5 minutes to play. Lead 12 for Marshall. And there's John Elmore, man. His defense tonight. The hands have been active, causing turnovers, or when he hasn't caused turnovers, at least deflected passes, knocked the ball out of bounds like he did right there.
Two excellent guards. Two of the best in Conference USA, and John Davis and John Elmore going at it on both ends of the floor.
Here's Ajukwa, gets the pick from Garvin. 3 no good. Garvin, though, gets the rebound. Garvin throws a pass to Haslam. Haslam, he's hacked by Williams. And now we'll see Haslam head back to the free throw line.
It has been an adventure at the line for Haslam. There you see Garvin double, almost triple team. Nice find underneath and plenty of contact.
3 of 5 at the line for Haslam. Make it 4 out of 6. Now with 9 points, tying his season high at against Rice last game out. Already a season high in rebounds with 11. So an opportunity here for a double-double. And there it is for Jalen Haslam, the junior from Warner Robins, Georgia. Now the 49ers get the full court press. And it's picked off by Ajukwa. Now it's Garvin. Back to Ajukwa. Ajukwa driving inside. Pump fake, runner, got it to go. The lead is 8. Elmore gets it to Burke. This time, Marshall able to break the press. Williams, quick 3, airballs that one, picked up by Ajukwa. Halton Arena getting into it. Ajukwa driving inside, throws up a shot. No call is made. Loose ball picked up, Andrian White. Davis, fadeaway jumper, no good.
That is a tough shot attempt. John Davis has been remarkable this evening, but I'd like to think Charlotte could get a better shot, and that would have been a huge basket to go down. Comes up short.
And we're going to get the illegal pick on Milovic. So the 49ers showing a little bit of life. Down by 8, but a quick little mini 4-0 run by the 49ers. It's 49er ball when we come back to Halton Arena. There you see the game reset with 3:38 to go. Marshall an 8-point lead, but the 49ers on a 9-0 run the last minute 36 here to fight their way back into this game.
A lot of basketball yet to play here. 3:38 in eternity, especially the way these teams play. And Marshall apt to take quick threes and shot attempts, allowing Charlotte to stay back in this ball game.
White fakes the 3. Now he'll fire. Got it! 5-point game. Is now a 9-0 run for the 49ers. Marshall slowing it down, just 10 to shoot. It's Burks against White. Burks, pump fake, shot, got it to go. C.J. Burks now with a career-high 32 points. And Marshall leads by 7.
And that is tough. Marshall knowing where they need to go to get a bucket, and C.J. Burks has been the answer all evening long.
John Davis, by far his best night of the year with 33 points. Down to 2 to shoot. Davis goes inside the runner, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. The offense just slow to get set up there, and then Davis looked like he just tried to go in, maybe draw a foul. Marshall did a good job laying off. And now it's Thundering Herd basketball as they'll slow it down.
Coach Fancher not happy. Just a poor offensive possession there. Charlotte unable to execute. Did not move the basketball in a wild attempt. Need a stop here for the Charlotte 49ers.
Burks to Watson. They've been the two stars in the second half. Burks off to Watson and one. Rondell Watson.
What a play by C.J. Burks, and another NBA level finish for Rondell Watson. Burks doing it not only with his scoring, but with his passing, and a huge bucket there by Watson.
3-point play. And we go from a 5-point game now to a 10-point lead for the Thundering Herd with under 2 to play. Charlotte just one timeout remaining. Davis going to drive it in, and he'll draw the foul. At one point, Joby, do you have to give up with the twos and start attempting from beyond the arc?
Yeah, that time is fast approaching. JD able to get to the basket, and he has been the best source of offense for Charlotte, but you can't keep trading baskets, and still seems like a lot of stand around and watch John Davis make a play on the offensive end for the Niners. As we see Ryan Murphy, who's very capable from long range, come into the basketball game. Coach Fancher knowing he needs buckets in a hurry.
And the free throw missed by John Davis. And John, looking up after that one, knows he cannot afford that.
Expect to see pressure from Charlotte after the free throw, full court. Have to force some turnovers. If not, start fouling pretty soon.
Here's Elmore. They can push it. And now John will pull it back out with 1:35 to go in a 9-point lead. Marshall trying to improve to 3-1 in conference play and pick up road win #1 in the conference on their first road game of the season in conference play. Elmore going against Murphy. And he loses control of the ball, picked up by Ajukwa. Ajukwa has it knocked out by Elmore, coming back the other way. And that's a dagger turnover. And Charlotte might have to start fouling. They won't yet. They'll continue to play defense, but this can take it down to a little over 40 seconds to play if Marshall takes it down to the shot clock expires. Now the foul occurs.
Yeah, too much time going off the clock.
An extra 16 seconds from the time Marshall got possession of it.
Charlotte, you have to at least run and jump and force a trap or turnover. If not, commit the foul. But you said it, Bobby, 16 seconds. Too much time wasted. Almost as if they're throwing in the towel here as fans begin heading towards the exits.
West makes the first free throw. It was foul #7, so you're at a point here of 3 1-and-1s. Marshall will be going through, but West knocks them both down. So his first 2 points of the night. A guy who shoots almost 48% from beyond the arc. John Davis fighting to get inside. He'll throw up a shot and he'll draw the foul, but at this point Marshall, they'll make the change of free throws for John Davis to go to the line for 2 for himself.
Yeah, the stat sheet's going to look pretty remarkable for John Davis when this is all said and done, but unfortunately will still be a loss in the wrong column for the Charlotte 49ers, who put forth a strong effort in the second half, made a game of it, but unable to get stops and baskets when necessary.
Now 35 points for Davis. It's a 10-point game. And he can't make it with the rebound by White, and then knocked away. It goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Charlotte 49ers.
Charlotte try to execute on the out of bounds. If you get a clean 3, take it. Otherwise, a quick basket. You've got to force a turnover or foul.
They throw it into Garvin. Garvin now going to post up, look like a travel. And they'll call it on Najee Garvin. And a play that might be fitting to put this one to an end for the 49ers. Another turnover.
They did a better job in the second half. Protecting the ball did Charlotte, but you're right, Bobby. 12 big first half turnovers and 19 for the ball game.
49ers commit the foul, so West will head back to the free throw line. The freshman from Clarksburg, West Virginia. But a quiet night for him. Now it's been C.J. Burks with his career high 32 points. John Elmore, the leading scorer for Marshall. He's got 19 points in this game. So they haven't gotten the production from West, but enough production everywhere else. Going to help lead Marshall to another win. 1 out of 2 for West at the line. The lead 11, under 40 to play.
The MVP for Marshall may be Rondell Watson in the second half. 15 points as Murphy gets an easy layup.
Clock continuing to run, and this is going to be an easy layup for West. Now the final 5 points in this game for the Thundering Herd. 24 seconds to go, the lead 11. 49ers press trying to get the steal, couldn't do it. White walks in, slams one home. But it won't matter much in the end result of this game. 49ers keep up the pressure. Marshall able to break it. The foul will be called on Davis as Watson will head to the line. And Rondell Watson, the Wake Forest transfer, made his debut not too long ago against Xavier. And it was, as you said, Joby, C.J. Burks the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, and then it was Watson down low making the plays. Watson makes that free throw, giving him now 19 on the night.
Watson did have 20 points against Southern Miss on December 28th, so stepping up, coming in, averaging 11 points, but a few big games. Must have been treated well over Christmas. Rondell Watson getting it done.
Davis drains one from NBA range, probably past that. Give him now 38 in the game. The inbounds pass, though, by Marshall. And Dan D'Antoni's team comes to Halton Arena back-to-back years and picks up a victory against the Charlotte 49ers. The final in this one, 91-83. And C.J. Burks, again, Joby, we go to him. His 32 points, career high. His play to start the second half was something Charlotte was just never able to overcome.
Yeah, 12 big points in the first 4 minutes of the second half for Burks, and he never looked back. Carried this Marshall Thundering Herd team to a huge road victory.
John Davis, 38 points. I guess the question for Charlotte, can that carry forward for the 49ers?
Well, you certainly hope so, and you'd love to see a number of these guys, if you're a Charlotte 49ers fan, play well on the same night, but Henry and White and company not able to give enough assistance to get a home victory.
Charlotte up next against Western Kentucky Saturday. Marshall on the road against Old Dominion, a game you can catch on ESPN3. So for Joby Thomas, I'm Bobby Rosinski saying so long from Halton Arena, where the final score is 91-83 Marshall. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.